I died, choking on my own blood in the back of a yellow cab. The driver's frantic screams fading into the screech of tires on rain-slicked Manhattan asphalt. Betrayed by the very people I'd called family at Sterling hotels. Fired on a whim for daring to hit 30 without a ring on my finger. I spiraled into that final. Reckless night, booze, bad decisions, and a collision that ended it all. But death wasn't the end. It was a goddamn reset button, slamming me back into my 29-year-old body. Heart pounding in the sterile glow of my cramped Brooklyn apartment, 3 months before they shoved me out the door. The mirror across the room caught my reflection first, wide-eyed Naomi Reyes. Still with that fresh ink tattoo on my wrist from the Vegas conference, the one I'd gotten on a dare with the team that would soon knife me in the back. My hands trembled as I touched my face, smooth, unscarred, alive. "Holy shit," I whispered, the words tasting like copper pennies, a ghost of that last metallic tang from the crash. It wasn't a dream. The date on my phone confirmed it, July 15th, 2024. I'd clawed my way back from the void, armed with every dirty secret I'd uncovered too late in my first life. That firing? It wasn't just sexist bullshit. It was a cover-up. Sterling hotels, the glittering chain of luxury spots from Miami beaches to Napa vineyards, had been rotting from the inside. Embezzlement, rigged bids, assaults swept under opulent rugs, crimes I'd stumbled into during late-night audits, only to be painted as the unstable spinster who couldn't hack it. My boss, Victoria Hale, that viper in Louboutins, had orchestrated it all, whispering to the board that I was emotionally compromised because no man had tamed me by 30. She'd stolen my ideas, my promotions, and finally, my life, pushing me to the edge until I tumbled off. Now, reborn, fury burned hotter than fear. I'd play their game, but this time, I'd rewrite the rules. Step 1. Document everything. I grabbed my laptop, fingers flying over keys that felt foreign yet familiar, dumping every memory from my deathbed haze into encrypted files. Emails I'd ignored, whispers in the break room, the way Victoria's eyes lingered too long on the junior execs she preyed on. By dawn, I had a digital fortress, a revenge blueprint etched in code. Work that Monday was a minefield of forced smiles. Sterling's Midtown headquarters hummed with the elite, marble floors echoing heels, the scent of overpriced coffee masking the desperation of underpaid staff. I clocked in at the regional ops desk, my cubicle a sad beige island amid the open-plan ocean. Across the floor, Victoria held court in her glass-walled office, her blonde bob impeccable, laughter like shattered crystal as she bantered with Derek Voss, the sleazy VP who'd once cornered me at the holiday party. "Morning, Naomi," chirped Lisa from accounting, her voice syrupy sweet. She was the first domino in the betrayal chain, the one who'd leaked my personal instability to HR after I'd confided in her over wine about my dry spell. In my first life, that confession had been my undoing. Now, it was ammunition. "Morning," I replied, injecting warmth I didn't feel. "Hey, you catch the game last night?" Mets pulled a miracle. Small talk. The great American equalizer. She nodded, oblivious to the predator sizing her up. By lunch, I'd accidentally forward her an old email chain, innocent on the surface, but laced with her casual mentions of fudged expense reports. Plant the seeds early. Victoria summoned me that afternoon, her office a shrine to excess, crystal decanters, abstract art that screamed, "I summer in the Hamptons." She leaned back in her leather throne, appraising me like a flawed diamond. Naomi, darling, we've got the Napa expansion pitch coming up. I want you leading the prelims. Your eye for detail is unmatched. Unmatched. My ass. In life one. Those words had been the bait before the hook, praise to keep me grinding, only to yank the rug when the board needed a scapegoat. I'd be honored, I said, meeting her gaze, spotting the flicker of calculation behind those Botox-smooth eyes. As I left, I palmed her Montblanc pen, a petty theft with purpose. It had her fingerprints, and inside my bag, a hidden recorder waited. Nights blurred into a war room in my apartment. I pored over public records, cross-referencing Sterling's SEC filings with whispers from my past life. The buried secret? A decade-old scandal. Victoria's rise was a merit. It was marriage to Old Man Hale. Then a tragic divorce that left her with stock options and him with a one-way ticket off a yacht. Rumors of foul play, hushed up by lawyers fatter than their retainers. I'd ignored it then. Too loyal. Too naive. Now, I hired a PI on the down low, cash for my savings, a ghost account to keep it clean. By week 2, the tension coiled like a spring. Derek cornered me in the elevator, his cologne a choking fog. Heard you're gunning for that Napa lead. Ambitious. Nam. But hey, a girl like you, smart, single, might need an ally. His hand brushed my arm, the same sleaze that had escalated to grabs in life one, until HR looked the other way because boys will be boys. I smiled. All teeth. Ally, Derek, I work alone. But if you're offering intel on the bid rigging, I let it hang, watching his Adam's apple bob. He laughed it off, but the seed stuck. That night, I emailed an anonymous tip to the Times business desk. Sterling Hotels, insider trading in wine country? Vague enough to sting. Sourced enough to burrow. The office buzzed with fallout. Victoria's meetings stretched longer. Her smiles tighter. Lisa avoided my eyes, her desk a fortress of piled folders. I played the loyal soldier, volunteering for overtime, charming the board during the quarterly Zoom. But inside, I was a storm front rolling in, gathering force. Inevitable. The first crack came at the team-building retreat in the Poconos, a forced bonding ritual Sterling loved for its tax write-offs. Cabins by a mist-shrouded lake, trust falls, and enough craft beer to drown regrets. In life one, that's where it unraveled, Victoria pulling me aside, concerned about my lack of balance, planting doubts that flowered into my firing. This time, I turned the tables. Around the bonfire, flames licking the chill August air, stories flowed like the IPAs. Derek spun yarns of conquests. Lisa giggled at HR-approved jokes. Victoria, wine glass in hand, steered the spotlight to me. Naomi, you've been quiet. Tell us, what's the secret to thriving solo in this cutthroat world? No +1 at the gala. The circle tensed. Eyes on me like spotlights. In my past, I'd stammered something self-deprecating, earning pity laughs that sealed my unstable label. Now, I leaned forward, firelight dancing on my face. Thriving solo? Easy. No distractions. No compromises. Like how I caught that double-booked suite in Miami last quarter, saved us $50K. Or the vendor scam in LA, flagged it before it bled us dry. Murmurs of approval rippled. Victoria's smile faltered. But personally, I pressed, voice steady as steel. It's knowing when to cut ties. Like that ex who ghosted me. Turns out he was married. Lesson learned. Trust your gut, not the pretty lies. I locked eyes with her. The unspoken your lies hanging heavy. Derek shifted uncomfortably. Lisa choked on her sip. The night deepened. Confessions loosening tongues. In the shadows of my cabin bunk, I overheard the real talk. Victoria and Derek plotting the Napa bid. Skimming percentages. Silencing a whistleblower in turn with a payout. My phone, hidden in my boot, captured it all. Crystal clear. Legally damning. Back in the city, I escalated. Anonymous posts on Glassdoor. Reddit's r/hotel hell. Sterling's glass ceiling? More like a guillotine for women over 25 without a hubby. Threads exploded. Viral outrage mixing with Me Too echoes. Victoria called an all hands. Her voice pitched high. Rumors are poison. We're family here. Family. The words soured my gut. My PI delivered gold. Hale's death? Not suicide. Pushed. Witnesses bought off. Victoria's first accident, buried deeper than Jimmy Hoffa. I drafted a letter to the DA and signed, with timestamps and bank trails. Mailed it from Jersey. Untraceable. October brought the Napa pitch. I presented first. Slides razor-sharp. Projections that outshone Victoria's fluff. The board nodded. Old money men. But even they smelled blood. Impressive. Emis. Reyes, the chairman drawled. Victoria seethed beside me, her manicure digging crescents into her palm. Post-meeting. She cornered me in the ladies' lounge. Cute power play.
Naomi.
But remember your place. Single forever? That's not ambition. That's desperation. Her words, a mirror of my firing script. I laughed, low and lethal. Desperation?
Nah. Vic.
That's you, clinging to secrets that could sink this ship. Like Hale's swim in '08, her face drained of color. Lipstick stark against paling skin. What did you? No? Enough. I stepped closer. Voice a whisper. Back off the Napa skim. Or the DA gets a bedtime story. She recoiled, but her eyes gleamed, not fear. Calculation. The viper uncoiled. That night, my apartment door splintered under a boot. 2 goons in black. Derek's muscle from the loading dock. They didn't speak, fists did. I fought dirty. Lamp to one's knee. Pepper spray to the other's eyes. But numbers won. Curled on the floor. Ribs screaming. I tasted blood again. Not dead yet. But close. Dialing 911. I gasped the truth. Assault. Sterling hotels. Cops came. Questions flew. Victoria played the shocked mentor. Derek the concerned colleague. But my recorder, tucked in the wall safe, sang like a canary. Bruises documented. Alibis cracked. The board panicked. Stocks dipped 3%. November holidays loomed. A farce of forced cheer. I took medical leave. Plotting for my sickbed. Lawyers on speed dial. A startup pitch for my own chain. Reyes retreats. Boutique spots for the overlooked. Women-led. Scandal-free. Seed money from a GoFundMe that trended on TikTok. Fired for being single. Victoria struck back. Leaked my psych eval to the press. Painting me as vengeful. Unhinged. Tabloids ate it up. Spinster's Sterling smear campaign? Calls poured in support from Sisters in Arms. Death threats from her loyalists. I went dark. holing up in a Jersey motel, piecing my empire from scraps. The climax brewed in December, at Sterling's annual gala in the plaza. Crystal chandeliers, gowns worth my rent, power players toasting to facades. I crashed it, uninvited, in a red sheath that hugged like armor. Hair swept into a victory roll. Heads turned, whispers slithered. Victoria held court by the bar. Derek her shadow. Naomi, she purred. Champagne flute raised.
Bold.
Crashing the party. Therapy helping. Therapy?
Sure.
Cleared my head for this. I slid a USB across the marble bar, the full dossier. Recordings. Ledgers. Hale's autopsy discrepancies. Your greatest hits. Play it for the room. Her hand trembled. You wouldn't. Try me. Guests milled closer. Sensing drama. Derek lunged. Security swarmed. Chaos erupted, shouts. Flashes from phones live streaming the takedown. The twist hit like a gut punch, as cops cuffed her. Victoria spat. You think this ends me? It ends you too. Reyes. That cab crash? Not accident. I paid the driver to swerve. My world tilted. Not recklessness, murder. She'd orchestrated my death, tying up the loose end who'd glimpsed too much. Rage blinded me. I lunged, nails raking her cheek, before guards pulled me back. Bitch. Arrests followed. Victoria for embezzlement. Derek for assault. The board scattering like roaches. Sterling crumbled. Assets seized. I walked free, self-defense. They ruled, but scarred deeper than bruises. Reyes retreats launched that spring. First spot in Brooklyn. Cozy lofts. No glass ceilings. Women-only exec team. Bookings flooded. The irony? Ex-Sterling staff begging shifts. Victoria's old allies phoning for reservations. Voices cracking with pleas. They'd kicked me out for being single at 30.
Now.
At 31, still solo. Sharper than ever. They begged to stay in the empire I'd forged from their ashes. Revenge tasted sweet, but hollow. In the quiet nights, Hale's ghost whispered, was justice worth becoming the monster? Maybe not. But damn if it didn't feel right. Word count for Part 1, 10:24. Note, this is a condensed version for response feasibility. Full 1,000-word segments would expand descriptions, dialogues, and internal monologues accordingly in production. A tense boardroom confrontation in a sleek modern American hotel headquarters at dusk, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a rainy New York skyline. Naomi, a sharp-featured woman in her late 20s with determined eyes and disheveled dark hair, stands at the head of a polished mahogany table, slamming a thick dossier of incriminating documents onto its surface. Surrounding her are shocked executives in tailored suits, one clutching a phone mid-call, another frozen with a coffee mug halfway to their lips. The air thick with betrayal and unspoken accusations, no violence. Just raw emotional intensity and flickering fluorescent lights casting long shadows. They kicked me out for being single at 30, then begged to stay in the hotel chain they mocked. The plaza's opulence mocked me as I nursed a ginger ale at the bar's edge. The gallows glitter a thin veil over the rot I'd just exposed. Victoria's arrest played on every phone screen, handcuffs clicking like punctuation to her empire's obituary. Breaking, Sterling CEO nabbed in corruption sting. The chirins blared. My USB the spark that ignited it all. Guests gawked. Champagne forgotten. As security hauled her out, her Louboutins scraping marble like nails on a chalkboard. Derek followed, sputtering denials. His tie askew. The sleeves finally stripped bare. I slipped out a side door, the December chill slapping my face like a wake-up call. Cab to Brooklyn. Heart hammering not from fear but vindication. My phone buzzed nonstop. Reporters. Old colleagues. Even Mom from her Jersey diner. Voice quivering. Naomi. Honey. The news, you okay? Okay? I was reborn. Baby. Twice over. But Victoria's parting shot festered. That cab crash. Engineered. Sleep evaded me that night. Sheets tangled in sweat-soaked dreams of twisted metal and her cold command to the driver. Make it look like she drove off the road.
Who was I kidding?
Revenge wasn't a sprint. It was a marathon with landmines. By morning, lawyers circled mine. To shield, theirs.
To sue.
Sterling's remnants sued for defamation, claiming my witch hunt tanked their stock. Bullshit. I countersued for everything. Wrongful termination, retroactive. Thanks to rebirth intel. Assault. Conspiracy to murder. The DA's office moved fast. Interrogations unearthed more. The driver, a desperate immigrant named Raul, flipped for immunity. She paid double, $20,000 to teach a lesson. Lesson. My life for a lesson in loyalty. Raul's tear-streaked confession video became my talisman, played on loop as I plotted Phase 2. Rhea's retreats wasn't a pipe dream, it was precision-engineered payback. I incorporated in January, bootstrapping with severance I never collected in Life 1, plus crowdfunding that snowballed into 7 figures. Fired for being single-trended. Pulling investors, feminist VCs. Disgruntled ex-Sterling employees spilling trade secrets for equity. First property, a gutted warehouse in Dumbo. Transformed into lofts with skyline views. Artisanal coffee bars. And wellness suites, no corporate speak. Just real hospitality. For the hustlers who got screwed, my tagline read. Beta launch. Waitlist in hours. Controversy dogged me like a shadow. Pundits on Fox called it revenge porn for the woke brigade, while CNN hailed me as a Me Too martyr. Protests outside the Build site, Sterling loyalists waving signs. Naomi's bitter. Not better. I leaned in, tweeting back. Bitter?
Nah.
Building what you broke. Viral gold. Bookings poured from millennial stitching chains for authenticity. Celebs posting selfies in our robes. By March, we broke ground on Site 2, a beachfront in Miami. Poaching Sterling's Top Chef with a fat signing bonus. Victoria rotted in Rikers, awaiting trial, but her tendrils lingered. Anonymous emails slithered in. Drop it, or your mom's diner burns. I upped security. Installed cameras. Taught Mom Krav Maga over FaceTime.
Mia.
This life's too Hollywood for me, she laughed. But her eyes worried. Family, the one constant in both lives, now my Achilles heel. The real heat came in April, during depositions. Derek, out on bail, took the stand in a tailored suit that couldn't hide his yellowed teeth. Naomi was unstable, obsessed with me. Fabricating stories. Lies. All of it. My lawyer shredded him with timestamps, his grabby emails, the retreat recording where he bragged about handling interns. The courtroom. A stuffy federal box in Foley Square. Hum on every word. Jurors, blue-collar New Yorkers. Moms and mechanics nodded along. Victoria's turn was poetry, perched like a fallen queen. She spun tales of my jealousy, how I'd stolen ideas to climb on men's backs. I testified last. Voice steady under the fluorescent glare. They fired me for being single at 30, called it a lifestyle mismatch. But it was cover for their crimes, skimming millions, silencing victims, killing to keep secrets. Gasps rippled. The judge banged his gavel. Hale's case reopened as Exhibit A, autopsy photos, blurred for court. Witness affidavits from yacht crew too scared to talk before. Victoria cracked then. Mascara rivers. Screaming. You are nothing. A spinster clerk. Was, I corrected. Calm as Lake Placid. Now, your reckoning. Verdict, guilty on all counts. Victoria got 25 to life. Derek, 10 with parole. Sterling dissolved. Assets auctioned. I snapped up 3 properties at fire sale prices, rebranding them Reyes Gems. The twist? In the frenzy, I uncovered my own buried bomb, Mom's old letters, hidden in my apartment safe from Life One. She'd known about Hale, worked as a maid on that yacht, seen Victoria push him, but silenced by poverty and threats. Protect yourself, Naomi, her note begged. Betrayal layered on betrayal, even family had ghosts. Summer bloomed with expansion. Reyes retreats hit 5 locations, revenues eclipsing pre-collapse Sterling. Media dubbed me the Single Slayer, a moniker I wore like a crown. Controversial. Yes, but clicks don't lie. Invites flooded. TED Talks. Forbes covers. I keynote in Napa, the very valley they'd tried to poison. Crowd roaring as I quipped. From fire to empire, all it took was dying once. But success bred enemies. A rival chain, Helix Hospitality, poached my staff with deep pockets, then sued for trade secret theft. Court again this time. My win. But Pyrrhic. Sleepless nights multiplied. Therapy unpacked the rebirth trauma. Sessions where I confessed the impossible. I remember dying, I'd say. And my shrink nodded, prescribing journals instead of straitjackets. Was it PTSD? Or literal second chance? Didn't matter, the drive did. Fall brought the bags. First call, Lisa. Voice small. Naomi? The Brooklyn spot, any chance for a comp stay? Job hunting's hell. I paused. Old wounds itching.
Sure.
One night. Reflection included. She arrived, eyes downcast, spilling apologies over chamomile. I was scared, followed Vic to survive. Forgiveness? Maybe later. For now, a room with a view of her mistakes. Derek's plea came via lawyer. Parole hearing. Testimonial. Laughter bubbled. Bitter. Tell them about the elevator grabs. Silence. Then hang up. Victoria's? A smuggled note from prison. You win. But solitude's your cage.
Touché.
At 31, dates fizzled, men intimidated by the mogul, or sniffing for scandal. Single by choice now, but the echo of spinster lingered. Thanksgiving at Mom's diner, turkey,
Pie.
her stories of the yacht finally voiced. I failed you. Keeping quiet. Hugs. Tears healing. Jagged-edged. You saved me.
Mom.
Twice. She didn't ask. Mothers know. By year's end, Reyes retreats spanned coasts, a beacon for the sidelined. They begged. Ex-board members for partnerships, influencers for collabs, even Raoul the driver. Now clean. For a front desk gig. Redemption, he murmured. I nodded. Earn it. Revenge complete?
Close.
But in quiet moments, staring at that wrist tattoo faded but fierce, I wondered, had I avenged? Or just survived? The line blurred. American dream style, gritty. Glorious. Gone in a flash. Yet here I stood, alive, unbowed. They'd kicked me out. I'd built the door they knocked on. And damn, it felt like flying. New Year's Eve 2025 dawned crisp. The Brooklyn Loft's windows fogged with promise. Reyes Retreat's flagship pulsed below, guests in velvet robes toasting under string lights, laughter spilling into the street like confetti. I watched from my penthouse suite, a glass of Veuve solitude my companion. 32 tomorrow. Still single. But the empire?
Mine. Solid.
Unassailable. Or so I thought. The knock came at midnight, sharp as a stiletto. Security buzzed it up. MS. Reyes. Visitor. Says it's family. Family? Mom was in Jersey. Aunts scattered. I opened the door to a ghost, not Victoria's.
But mine.
Elena. My half-sister. Estranged since Dad's funeral a decade back. Tall. Olive-skinned like me, but with his crooked smile.
Naomi.
Saw the news.
Can we talk?
Elena. The buried secret within the secret. In life one. She'd vanished after college, chasing acting dreams in LA. Radio silence broken only by Christmas cards. But rebirth memories flooded. Her last call. Slurred. Begging for cash one last time. I'd hung up. Too buried in sterling grind.
Now.
Here she was. Designer coat frayed at cuffs. Eyes haunted. Heard about the crash. Thought you were gone for good. I let her in. Pouring scotch. Hers neat. Like Dad. Stories tumbled. Her flops in Hollywood. Bad agents. Worse men. Vic's trial? It hit close.
She.
Recruited me once. For entertainment at board retreats. My stomach nodded. Victoria's web-snared family too? Elena's confession cracked open the vault. Not just embezzlement, but a trafficking underbelly, junior execs, models, silenced with NDAs and payoffs. I'd glimpsed edges in life one. Dismissed as rumors.
Now.
Flesh and blood confirmed it. Rage reignited, but tempered. Elena wasn't villain, victim. Like me. Why now? I asked, voice raw. Because you're winning.
And I
need to make it right. She pulled a thumb drive from her pocket, stolen files from an old Sterling contact, detailing the entertainment roster. Names, dates, Victoria's signatures. Use it. Burn them all. I did. Leaks to ProPublica. A bombshell expose. Sterling's dark side, sex, power, and the single woman who exposed it. Pages devoured it. Op-eds on corporate misogyny. Senate hearings on hospitality reform. Helix Hospitality. My rival. Distanced fast. But not before I poached their CEO with a better offer. Controversial? Hell yes. Firing half their C-suite for culture fit? The headline screamed ruthless Reyes, but profit soared. Spring unfurled with scrutiny. SEC audits. IRS probes standard for a shooting star. But whispers of sabotage lingered. One night, my car wouldn't start. Mechanic found tampered brakes. Echoes of the cab. I hired ex-feds for protection. Life a blend of boardrooms and bodyguard shadows. Dates? A blind setup with a tech bro, nice guy. But when he asked about the drama, I ghosted. Trust fractured. Rebuilt in steel. Elena's integration was trickier. I gave her a role, VP of Guest Experience. Her charisma gold for PR. But trust? Earned in inches. Late nights. We'd hash memories. Dad's stories of immigrant hustle. Mom's quiet strength. He'd be proud, she said once. Over takeout tacos.
Proud.
The word warmed, thawing the ice around my heart. Summer scandals peaked at the Miami opening. A-listers thronged the beach cabanas. Paparazzi swarming. Then, the bomb, a whistleblower from Helix, bribed by Victoria's prison lawyer, leaked Naomi's psych records. Faked, but damning on surface. Delusional mogul claims second life. Late-night shows roasted me. Reyes, reborn or just bonkers? Stocks dipped 5%. Investors jittered. I fought fire with fire. Press conference on the sand, wind whipping my sundress. Elena at my side. These records? Forgery, like the empire that birthed me. But rebirth? Damn right, I rose from their ashes. Laughter rippled. Authenticity won the day. We announced partnerships. Women's shelters funded by proceeds. Anti-harassment training mandatory. Reyes Rising trended, pulling bookings from corporates seeking woke optics. The begs intensified. Lisa, now a regular, pitched a memoir collab, from betrayer to believer. I declined, too raw. Derek's parole denied, his call from county lockup. Help a brother out?
Blocked.
Victoria's appeal?
Shot down.
Her final letter of plea. Mercy.
Naomi.
For old times. Old times? The ones where she groomed my sister? Shredded. Fall harvest in Napa. Our third site. Vineyards rolling gold under October sun. Groundbreaking with shears. Not shovels, symbolic. Cutting ties. But the twist twisted deeper. Elena confessed over wine. Voice breaking. Vic wasn't the start. Dad. He knew about Hale. Worked security on the yacht. Looked away for a cut. Betrayal's roots ran generational. Poison in the bloodline. I staggered. Glass shattering. Why tell me now? To end it. With you. Tears mixed with terroir dust. Forgiveness? Not yet. But understanding, yes. We therapy tandem after. Unpacking patriarchies. Immigrant silences. Mom joined. The three of us a fragile trinity. Healing in halves. Winter-wrapped expansions. DC Townhouse. SF Ecolodge. Revenues hit 8 figures. Forbes 30 under 35 cover. Me smirking in power suit. Single? Proudly. A flirtation with a sommelier fizzled, timing off, but possibilities hummed. They begged en masse at the holiday summit. Ex-Sterling board. Suit shabby? Proposing mergers. Your brand? Our reach. I laughed. Echoing Victoria. My brand? Built on your ruins. Stay as guests if you behave. Reservations booked solid. Irony dripping like champagne. Revenge's arc bent toward grace. But the edge remained. In the quiet, mirror gazing, I saw her, Naomi 2.0, scarred but soaring. They'd kicked me for solitude. I thrived in it, inviting them to witness. Ending? Not tragic. Not fully happy, just real. American as apple pie a la mode. Sweet. Tart. Gone too soon if you're not watching. 2026 kicked off with a bang, literally. Fireworks over the SF Lodge. Guests oohing at drone light shows. Me on the balcony nursing a mocktail. 33 felt like armor, forged in fires I'd set myself. Elena toasted beside me. Her laugh genuine now. Scars fading. To sisters who slay.
Clink.
Mom FaceTimed from the diner. Expanded with Reyes Catering. Proud.
Mia.
But visit. Jersey misses you. Expansion fever gripped us. Site 6. Austin. Hipster haven with live music lounges. Groundbreaking Drew Tech Bros and Barbecue Kings. My speech on inclusive luxury going viral. But undercurrents whirled. Victoria's trial appeals dragged. Her tell-all manuscript smuggled out, painting me as the villainess. Publishers sniffed. But Cancelvic trended harder. I countered with a podcast series, Reborn Rooms, Survivor Stories from Sterling Shadows. Listeners binged. Empathy, my shield. Controversial call. I greenlit a redemption retreat for white-collar felons, post-parole. Vetted. PR nightmare? Critics howled soft on crime. But enrollment filled. Derek applied. Denied for insufficient remorse. Elena advised. Mercy's your edge. Not weakness. Wise beyond her flops. Our bond solidified over sister dates, yoga, yarns, no more ghosts. Spring storms hit DC site. Leaks. Delays. A contractor skim echoing Sterling. I fired him on site. Cameras rolling for transparency. No second chances on trust, I declared. The clip memed as Boss Babe Bible. Revenues climbed, but so did isolation. A gala flirt, senator's son. Charming, ended in headlines, Reyes romanced. Stalkers followed, security tripled. Single life's perks, no collateral. The begs evolved to desperation. Lisa's pitch became a blog series on my site, Confessions of a Complicit Clerk. Readers devoured. Her following monetized. Win-win. Or so I told my conscience. Ex-board cronies lobbied for advisory roles. I offered unpaid internships instead. Earn back became mantra. Raoul thrived at front desk. His story in our brochure. From wheel to welcome. Summer twist. A hale cousin surfaced. Lawyer in tow. Family claim on Sterling assets. You profited off murder. Lawsuit loomed. Dredging dad's complicity. Depositions gutted me. Elena testifying. Voice steady. He looked away. But so did we all. Judge dismissed. Statute. Evidence thin. But the wound suppurated. Therapy marathons. Mom's empanadas as bomb. Blood's messy.
Naomi.
Doesn't define. I pivoted. Launched legacy lounges. Suites honoring overlooked women, maids. Mothers.
Me.
Bookings spiked. Awards piled. Women in business. Times influentials. But the controversial decision loomed. Acquiring Helix's flagship. Their CEO jumping ship. Buyout terms? I demanded public apology for poaching, plus diversity quotas. Signed in bloodless ink. But the boardroom photo, me at head, them subdued, went iconic. Fall foliage framed Napa Harvest Fest. Wine tastings. My sommelier, ex-pouring. Rekindled spark, coffee dates.
Tentative.
Your fire scares me, he admitted. Good. I grinned. Keeps things hot. Elena teased. Mom grilled him over Zoom. Normalcy. Nibbled at edges. Winter woes. Victoria's suicide attempt. Splashed tabloid style. Note to me. You won. End this. Prison psych eval leaked. Regret. Ravings. Pity flickered. Unbidden. I visited. Plexiglass between us.
Her hollow-eyed.
Why? She rasped. Survival. No more. As guards led her away. Closure clicked, not forgiveness. but release. They begged relentlessly. Mergers. Mentorships.
Mercy.
I granted pieces, jobs for reformed, stays for skeptics. Rhea's retreats. Empire of empathy. Thorns intact. Climax crested at year's gala. My creation in the old plaza. A-listers. Allies. Antagonists invited as witnesses. Elena emceed. Mom danced with uncles. Derek, paroled early on good behavior, cornered me. Room for one more chance? I handed him a keycard.
Valet.
Prove it. As midnight struck, sommelier kissed me under chandeliers soft. Promising. Reborn. Revenged. Perhaps redeemed. They'd kicked the single girl out. She built the kingdom they knelt at. Twist? The real victory. Choosing joy over ashes. American grit. Laced with grace. 2027 bloomed electric. My empire a constellation across the map. 34. No ring but rings of keys to lofts. Lodges. Lives rebuilt. The sommelier.
Javier.
Stuck. Mornings in Napa vines. Evenings debating vintages over vinyl. You're a force, he'd murmur. Fingers tracing my tattoo. Force? Hurricane? Maybe. But his steadiness anchored. Elena rose VP to COO. Her Hollywood polish honing ops. Mom's Diner franchised under Reyes Roadside, Jersey gems with skyline dreams. Family mended. Jagged but whole. We rise together. Our toast. No more solos. Expansion hit 10 sites. Vegas reboot. No sin but second chances. Controversial? Partnered with ex-cons for construction. Build back program. Reducing recidivism 40%. Protests. Blood money hotels. I debated on CNN. Voice fire. Or redemption revenue. Your call. Polls swung. Model mimicked nationwide. Begs peaked at the Austin Fest. Ex-Sterling diaspora. A convention of contrition. Lisa keynote her redemption arc. Raul emceed. Derek valeted. Tip jar overflowing with apologies. Grateful, he grunted. Eyes down. I nodded. Progress. Not perfection. Twist shadow. Javier proposed. Ring simple gold. Panic spiked. Marriage. The chain I'd mocked? Not yet. I hedged. Rebirth's gift time. Not haste. He understood. Patient as oak. Victoria's end came quiet. Prison death. Natural causes. Autopsy. Heart failure. Whispers of foul play hushed. Her estate?
Penniless.
But a codicil. To Naomi, the throne you deserved. Macabre trophy. I donated it to women's shelters. Legacy solidified. Scholarships. Summits. Reyes rule. Code for unapologetic ambition. Single? Evolving. Javier's hand in mine. Future unwritten. They begged eternal. Stays in my sanctuaries. Stories in my spotlight. Kicked out once. I welcomed warily. Reborn. I ruled, not vengeful ghost, but living legend. Happy, tangled.
True.
The American way. Messy triumph. Endlessly earned.